Do you guys think we'll see a DX reunion again, like maybe sporadically?
I like to see that. I mean, as long as these guys, keep their noses clean, I see why not. I don't see why not. That's what it all comes down to. I think that with their relationship with Triple H, there's always that open door policy there for them. So all they have to do is just make sure that they keep themselves in a good place, and the opportunity will always be there.
I think you saw it most recently with Road Dogg in the Royal Rumble. When he first came back, like I said, we had talked like he was fresh out. We just saw him recently at an event in PA.
WXWC4.
Yeah, at the Yokozuna tribute show, and he was still on. Like I said, he was still on the road. He left coming off hitting Independence for that road agent job with the WWE. That he said we interviewed him on the radio show. He was talking about how he's been talking to Hunter ever since he got there. Like, hey man, I'm ready to have the third, and kudos to him as well. He had just gotten sober. You know what I'm saying? He had been, if you watch his show that him and Billy Gunn had on their website that they were starting up together, he was talking about how he'd been sober and he's been changing his life and just been, he's like, I'm gonna take a step out from being Road Dogg and I'm gonna be Brian James for a moment. And he started talking about how they've all been down some dark paths, but they've come out and they've emerged and they're still here. A lot of people didn't make it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like I said, if everybody seems to be up and up and stay in good stands, and it seems like everybody is, there's always going to be opportunity. I mean, how many times do we see DX reunite for small events just to make an appearance? You know what I mean? That's still going to draw. Yeah. If you say DX going to appear in the show and all of them will come, you're going to watch.
Oh yeah.
So
now, how about a guy like Damian Sandow being put in that position? That goes to show that obviously they had a bigger audience,
right?
And now you see people probably tune in just to see this guy get his butt kicked. Like, well, who's that smart talking guy that he's really annoying?
He just insults everybody's intelligence.
Exactly. He being able to see him, that was like the perfect spot for him. And he talked about, I know I'm gonna get my butt kicked, but I'm going to be a martyr tonight.
Yeah, so, he played it very well, and it's I don't know where Idol Stevens got this from, but he's doing a really good job with it. It seems so natural at it. And he just pretty much said, you know what, I know you guys can beat me up, but you know what, I'm not a victim, I'm a martyr. It's like, how do you sit there and turn that on somebody like that? And then, of course, they played off each other very well. And DX was like, well, what's the best way to go out in DX fashion? And they did it. And they played off each other very well. You had one extreme to the next. Exactly. And it was good that he's a young guy. You know what I mean? Because usually when you get kicked in the face by Shawn Michaels, that's a validation that, okay, they care about you. Because first of all, you're in the ring with Shawn Michaels. Like, in wrestling business, a lot of times as fans, we consider wins and losses a bit too much. And the business, they really don't. That's not even important. It is to the individual wrestlers because they care about their individual careers, but that's not what's important. Right. You know what I mean? So the fact that you're even in the ring with Shawn Michaels, whether you're losing to him or not, that says a lot about you. It happened with Del Rio. That time Shawn Michaels came out there and Del Rio interrupted him. Shawn Michaels didn't say a word. He just sweet-chinned him and walked out. Yeah. And then he took his little scarf and started dancing with it. Yep. Because they was letting you know that, hey, this is Del Rio's going to be one of those guys. You know what I mean?
I tell you what, out of everybody in the locker room, I don't think there's anybody else back there that epitomizes the anti-degenerate stance more than Damian Sandow. So yeah, they got the idea right with that one.
Yeah, definitely. But then let's look at another point. Cam, I know you said you didn't care for the show that much, but you didn't see a lot of mixing the young with the old, introducing the younger guys to the older crowd. You didn't see a lot of that?
I saw a lot of the same guys I see every Monday. I didn't see any. I was talking to my girlfriend about it. I'm like, hey, where's the new talent here that we're supposed to see? And there were no surprises. I didn't see nobody coming from FCW that was going to make a big debut or a big splash. I just seen a lot of the same guys that get time every other Monday. So, they did mix them with the older guys, but that was the whole premise of the show in the first place. Bring back some of the nostalgia acts and mix them with the guys that you see every Monday anyway. But I expected to see somebody of noteworthiness that we would be talking about today. And all I can talk about is the guys that we see on a normal basis.
Well, see, that's what I'm looking forward to for 1001. See a lot of the younger guys, a lot of the, like you said, the FCW guys. NXT is getting ready to crown a champion. So, I'm looking forward to seeing the way that's going to turn. Right. Hopefully we'll see some NXT talent in that first hour. So, as far as the 3-hour move, I'm reserving as far as my critique of it until we get to, say, 1010.
Okay.
I'm reserving my critique for it. Moving on, Miz becoming the Intercontinental Champion.
I was conflicted.
Some people saying, you know, we can look at it and say he's a part of the. Now he's the Triple Crown Champion. Pass or fail? Do you guys? I mean, you know, fail.
I do not agree. I say pass. But first, I want to hear you, Cam. Why do you say fail?
Thank you. Tell me how this guy just comes back from shooting a movie, out of sight, out of mind, basically. No mention whatsoever. And he gets the strap already. It makes no sense. If anything, build a feud between him and Christian. You know what I'm saying? Don't just have him come in and just take the belt right off of him. There's no story to it whatsoever. You know what I mean? Here we go again. It's the same story over and over and over again. You got the Intercontinental Championship loses more and more prestige with every person it's handed to. You know, thank God for Cody Rhodes for the time he held it. That guy did an absolutely great job. But it makes no sense whatsoever to give the belt to a guy that, for all intents and purposes, should be rusty. You know, I mean, if you're going to go storyline here, he hasn't wrestled a match in 2 months, okay? Just came back, and he went to the Intercontinental Championship. That's what the belt means nowadays? Joke.
Do you want to go next? Or?
Let me just say this before you get into your pass. When you remember, No Way Out, or was it? No, I'm wrong. I think it was No Way Out, or it might have been over the. Whenever they crowned Christian as the IC champion, it was the Miz who was his last person that he threw out the ring.
Okay. For the Raw,
in the Battle Royal, right. Before he got his title shot.
Right.
Obviously, he had a feud with Cody, so I kind of see what you're saying, Cam, as far as building it up. But let's not forget, them two, it's a little something right there, and I think they'll play off of that. Maybe the Miz will say, yeah, Christian, you got rid of me, this, that, and the other, but now I'm ready. Me personally, I want to see Christian elevate, go to the World Championship status.
I think he will.
And if he's going to do that, I'm okay with him just, losing to the Miz. I enjoyed the match. I know, Cam, I know you wanted to see Bret Hart more in that capacity.
Cam wanted to see Bret Hart in the match. That's what he wanted.
Bret should have won any kind of championship.
I was like, Cam would not have a problem with him having another IC title, even for a night or two.
3 times.
Right. He almost 3 times when Triple H wanted to put the title on him and take it from Rocky Maivia.
Yeah, right.
But nevertheless, I understand it, but now I just don't want to see Christian stand in the mid-card.
No, yeah, definitely.
And I understand, you have some good mid-carders out there, but I just don't want to see Christian there. I want to see Christian. I'd rather see him as your heavyweight champion instead of that red-haired punk named Sheamus.
Yeah, I can't stand Sheamus. He's boring. But here's my thing about this, Cam. Like, I see it the same way you do, but from the reverse and from the other side. Like the same reasons you don't like it, I like it for, like, I'm looking at it from a positive, bigger picture reason. Like, I look at it like this. Okay, you got a guy like Miz. From me, I'm always thinking business and product at the same time. Maybe that's a problem sometimes, but sometimes I'm thinking, okay, the Miz came back. Pretty soon the movie's gonna be dropping soon.
Yeah.
So they got to do something to keep Miz on TV. That main event spot with the WWE Championship, even though he could be in a hunt right now,
it's too hot.
It's too hot right now. Because CM Punk, what they had planned later on in the night was a big, big deal. So I look at it like this. Okay, you have the IC title. He can make that title important. And you can take the title off of Christian, so Christian I'm hoping that he doesn't just get stagnant. I'm hoping they take the title off him because, one, he's had it for a while, and they can move him into that World Heavyweight Championship picture. Yeah. It looks like they're taking their time with Ziggler, so they're not in a rush to, okay, let's throw the belt on him, and they give him a good build-up. So I'm hoping that, okay, maybe Christian can get a quick run, even if it's a quick run, or, move him back into at least in the main event picture. And you can have a guy like The Miz, who's a former WWE champion. Right. So I think that does bring prestige to the IC title, not because of the way he got it, because I can understand that with the way it was done before in the past, but it's like we're already too far gone away from that, so what's the best thing we can do? You know what I mean? I say, okay, so you give the title to a guy like The Miz, who's going to treat the IC title like it's a WWE championship.
Yeah.
Because, one, he hasn't been on TV. So, one, having the IC title, you give a reason to put Christian on TV. The Miz on TV. So now he's going to go out there, he's going to do his Miz thing, and because he's the IC champion, he belongs there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I feel like you made a valid point. I feel like they're putting the belt on him because of his movie role. This is just another way to elevate him and also, talk about the product, the movie. You don't reward titles to people that have movie roles. You reward it to people who bust their ass, you know what I'm saying, and work hard to put that belt over. Not to put a movie over. I mean, come on. It's not right. It's not right.
But in the
a lot of deserving guys outside of the Miz, I tell you that.
Like who though that the fans would actually care about? That's my thing. Like we can always talk about the guys that work hard in the ring. Ric Flair worked hard for 30-something years just to get crapped on in WCW. Bret Hart worked hard for who knows how long he did just for him to get crapped on in WWE and get pushed out. You know what I'm saying?
The machine has to be behind them, though. You know WWE, they make their wrestlers. The wrestlers don't make the wrestlers, they make the wrestlers.
And that's true. So if you look at a time thing, they don't have time to focus on building somebody for the IC title. We're talking about a conglomerate now. We got to worry about the 1,000th episode of Raw. Right now,
don't have it. They don't have it.
They're looking for a quick fix. So who would you rather them put the title on, if not that? At least the Miz will bring some type of shine to the belt, because they can say, okay, we can put the Miz on TV and have him be the IC title, so we can kill two birds with one stone instead of saying, okay, we're going to give a young guy a chance. That's all it is. The chance is no guarantee. It's just a chance. You know what I mean? Or we can say, okay, for time reasons, let's kill two birds with one stone instead of saying, okay, we're going to take the time to build some young guy that, quite honestly, I don't even know who you put it on right now to make it relevant in the first place. Because if you put it back on Cody, yeah, you could do that. But then you'll say this guy can either move on to better things, or is he going to get stuck being that guy? He had the title for such a long time.
Yeah.
So my question is, who do you put it on?
I'll put it to you like this: if what you say is correct, if the WWE does not have enough time to invest to build a championship or to build a star and of that caliber, then guess what? They don't deserve to have a title. They shouldn't have a title. Get rid of the IC championship because you're making a mockery of it by just handpicking your champion and putting it on whoever they want to be hot at the moment. It's a mockery.
But isn't that how the wrestling business has always been on the NWA? Isn't that what the whole council
the
was?
NWA, yeah, but not the WWE.
I got you.
Not the WWE. Those guys, the Intercontinental Championship has always been known for guys that can go. You know, and I don't have to go through the list. I know you guys are the champions of the past.
But how long ago was that, though? They
were the workers.
How long ago was that really, though? I mean, let's not forget Ezekiel Jackson. Like, let's talk about that time period between the IC title sort of fell off in between, before
Wade
Cody
Barrett,
Rhodes got it.
Ezekiel. I forgot.
I mean, are those guys really the great workers?
That title fell off a long time before that.
Okay, so
that title been fell off the face of the earth.
So why look for a tradition that you know has been already dead for a long time?
Well, you know, you got Cody Rhodes hyping it up about how he's going to restore prestige to it. Of course, we want to believe. You know, 'cause, I mean, we all came up at a time when we saw some of the greatest Intercontinental champions between Shawn and Brett and Perfect, you know. Mm-hmm. I mean, we saw the workers. We saw those guys that could really elevate their game and be better than the main event guys, you know, especially in the ring. Sometimes the storylines at the mid-card level were better than the main event level. So, you know, with all that talk and all that hype, you want to see that prestige restored. And if you're not really going to be about it, then what's the point? You know what I'm saying? It's just another piece of metal that, you're trying to label as something that it really isn't. You know, it might as well be a tin can,
so I guess
a piece of foil.
So I guess you'll never be satisfied with whoever's the IC champion, because pretty much that's not going to happen anymore with the way the business goes today. So in other words,
there are some guys. I mean, let's just say Daniel Bryan wasn't a main eventer right now. That's a guy that can go. He can work.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Put it on him. And I tell you what, I'll be happy to watch that guy carry the Intercontinental Championship. Not now, but prior to him winning the WWE Championship or World Heavyweight Championship. Right. Yeah, I would have loved to have seen him be an Intercontinental Champion.
So who do you put on the title now, though? If you don't, like he said, if you don't give it to the Miz, who would you have in that spot?
Taking everything in consideration. Storyline.
I tell you, well, you know, again, like I said, WWE makes guys. So if I was to have WWE make one guy, it'd be Tyson Kidd, easily, because that guy can go, and we know Tyson Kidd can go.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair.
I think we go, but with the 3 hours, obviously, like we were saying, we're in the transitional period of wrestling. We're gonna see a lot more young guys, and I think Raw going 3 hours is going to benefit somebody like a Tyson Kidd.
Right.
And don't be surprised if you see him going toe-to-toe with The Miz within, dare say, before Survivor Series. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Money in the Bank showed what Tyson Kidd could do, leading into Money in the Bank, we saw what he could do. And then he showcased himself at the pay-per-view. Mm-hmm. And I think he'll be one of them solid mid-carders that, we always talked about that we want to see.
That's fair.
I don't know if anybody noticed or not when Brett announced The Miz, how dismissive he was when he said The Miz, that maybe that's a sign. Brian, you could be onto something right there, and that's a sign that Tyson Kidd will be the next contender.
Yeah, because, that's what everybody wanted to see. A lot of people wanted to see Tyson Kidd, obviously, in that spot, But I thought, like Dwayne said, Miz, just did the movie. We're going to probably start seeing him a lot more on TV. And I wasn't surprised when he was named for the contender for the title.
Man, I was conflicted. I didn't want to see that match. Because they're both my guys. You feel me? Like Christian, I'm instant classic Christian Cage. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy since TNA. Was I see, he showed me. I was like, this guy's main event